guys, I will find a way to relate to you. I know the show hasn't gone the way we want it to. Do you think I want to be up here doing this?
Yeah.
I was literally drinking a beer on stage called a Dream Crusher. And I like mentioned that to the audience. I'm like, do you see what I'm drinking right now? This is called a Dream Crusher. I am literally drinking mud. It's happening to me.
What up, guys? Back here in the studio, in our new studio, Comedy Club Confessions is back. And my guest today is very, very funny. Alex Hooper, guys. What's up?
I'm so happy to be here. Comedy Club Confessions is all with K's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. Right. Okay. Just making sure I'm in the right place. I gotta be careful what I say with this mustache and this look, I'm fun. I'm just kidding.
So tell everyone real quick, where are you from originally?
Baltimore.
And you came out here to LA
almost 14 years ago
to pursue stand-up.
Not originally. I was to be an actor, and then like 6 months later, I tried stand-up and realized that was what I really wanted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where'd you perform at?
Do you remember? So remember TK Madison?
Yeah.
So
he just opened the club.
Yeah, in Dallas.
Yeah.
So he used to run this like comedy night at the Aura nightclub in Studio City, which eventually became his own club, the Spotlight Comedy Club.
Oh yeah.
But it was basically like on a Friday and Saturday night before it turned into a dance party. It was like bringer shows.
Okay.
And that's where I started doing it.
Yeah. What? How'd you find TK?
Another friend of mine that was already working with him was like, "Oh, dude, I'm doing stand-up comedy. We should try this. Like, come on, I'll put you on a show." So I didn't even do an open mic. I just did a show.
Oh,
and
wow.
My first time ever was like 6 minutes in front of 50 people.
Oh,
and
wow.
I didn't do an open mic for the first 6 months because nobody told me to do that. I didn't know. You don't fucking know what you're doing in the beginning. Yeah. You don't realize that it's not helping you to bring 5 people to this guy to have you perform your 6 minutes.
And then you think you're killing.
You think you're killing, and you also go like, I think I know most people in the scene by this point, like 6 months in.
Yeah.
And then I started going, wait a minute, what are all these other places that everyone else is going? Yeah. And then you realize that your vision is so narrowly pointed and focused. And then if you can actually broaden what you're looking for, it's everywhere. Comedy's everywhere in LA.
Dude, that's some freaking great advice, because a lot of people, I was just talking on the last episode, people come to LA and they immediately want to go do the Laugh Factory, the Comedy Store, the Improv. And it's like, you're not ready, like you really need to take the baby steps and do the open mics. And people, a lot of people, do you do open mics? Do you do open mics still?
I don't as much anymore because they're not good. Like I know there are some good ones, and people are going to be like, how dare you? I did open mics religiously, like multiple times, like 10 times a week for so many years.
And what'd you get out of it?
Jokes, form, punctuality, being able how to craft a joke, meeting community, being on stage, learning what type of comedian I was, learning how to perform in the hardest circumstances, so that when you do bar shows for years and open mics that nobody gives a shit about you, when you get into a packed club, suddenly everything falls together and you go, whoa, like, it shouldn't be this easy, right?
Yeah.
And I dare use the word easy because it's never easy. But compared to like doing bar shows during the playoffs, playing a packed improv isn't that hard,
Yeah. Dude, that's the best advice you could ever get, because a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people complain about open mics. Oh, you're performing for comedians. Oh, you're performing for one audience member. I said, well, there are some shows you go to, and there's going to be one audience member and 3 comedians.
Welcome to the road when you're first starting out and you're not a draw.
Yeah.
Do you know how many shows I still do for like 19 people in Tulsa, Oklahoma on a Wednesday night? Because that's who's fucking there.
Yeah.
Well, I still have to do an hour. Doesn't mean that I don't get to skip out on my job. And all those open mics just allowed me to have the resilience build up to know how to play to these small rooms, but also how to play when it's not going well or to a bigger audience. And timing is everything, and people do not learn that when you don't hit enough stage time.
Yeah, dude. And it's not fair to the audience there that there's 19 people there, because a lot of comics will just phone it in and not try and not, have a really bad show.
Yeah.
It's not fair to those 19 people, because it's never the audience's fault. A lot of comics go up there and they complain, oh, they're tired. Oh,
I have a line that I say when I'm doing a show for a very small audience. I go up there and I'm like, hey, I've been in a small audience before too. I know how much work it is for you to act like you are invested in what's going on up here. So look, there's 14 of you. Anytime you don't want to laugh at a joke, that's fine. If you need to check out for 5 minutes and think about something else, that's fine. But I'm going to give you everything I have. So if you give your energy back to me, I promise we will all walk out of here a little happier than when we came in. And I'm like, can we agree with that? And usually in the audience is like, yeah. And then I proceed to have a good show, even though it's not an ideal situation. I don't let circumstances affect my performance. That's not, these people paid money. I have a job to do. Oh, so it's hot in the room. So your chicken fingers didn't come out right. There's not as many people as you want. You don't like that. Who cares? Who cares? You have a job to do.
Tell me a time where you performed and something like that actually happened. Like a really one of your craziest shows.
I mean, most of the time when I'm on the road. I mean, I do this.
Okay, the worst one.
No, look, I mean, dude, I've done an hour for 5 people before. I mean, I remember I did a week in Canada, in Calgary at the Comedy Cave, and they do Tuesday through Sunday. They shouldn't. They should do Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Because you know what shows are terrible? Tuesday, Wednesday, and Sunday.
Wow.
Awful. And the problem is Saturday night is great. So you do 2 shows and the room's packed and everyone loves you and you're like, man, what a great week. And then Sunday comes. You've been there for a week and you have to perform for literally 5 people showed up. And at that point, I am doing comedy. But I can't just do a set because there's no time. There's no rhythm that you can ever begin. And so you basically just have a conversation. You start telling stories. You learn everybody's names. You say, hey, Jen, did you ever have an experience like that where you were at a Walmart and you felt scared? Whatever it may be. And then it just becomes this kind of almost open podcast. But I mean, I bombed my dick off in Dallas only 3 months ago. Just had bad energy in the audience. There were literally 2 audience members ruining it for everybody. And even after they left after like 25 minutes into my headlining set, the energy in the room was still so bad that I was never able to recover it. And I did everything, Jack. I was like, guys, I will find a way to relate to you. I know this show hasn't gone the way we want it to. Do you think I want to be up here doing this? I was literally drinking a beer on stage called a Dream Crusher. And I mentioned that to the audience. I'm like, do you see what I'm drinking right now? This is called a Dream Crusher. I am literally drinking mud. It's happening to me. And I went into the audience. I pulled people on stage and started trying to speed roast,
you
interview
put all
them.
the tricks.
I did everything. And everyone walked out of there. Like, there were 30 people in the crowd. And 10 of them walked out going, dude, that was great. Don't worry about those other people. That was fucking awesome, man. I was like, where were you? You know? But then I listened back to that tape and I realized, like,
you were in your own head.
I was in my own head. It wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was.
It never is, though. It's never as bad as you think it is. Because we're our worst critics.
Right.
You're going to be like, I fucking suck tonight. And everyone's like, dude, buying t-shirts, this and that. I'm like, oh shit, I guess I didn't do that bad. You know?
And I also went into that show with that whole, like, guys, this is a Friday late show, which, you know, notorious. But I was like, most people don't like Friday late. I love them. This is where things get weird. This is where we get to play. Like, I'm excited to be here, and I hope you guys are too. And immediately, even when I did that, it was kind of like, and I was like, oh no, they're not that excited to be here. Okay. All right. And I walked off. That was one of those ones where you walked off and like you just had to go to the green room and you just like sit down. You're like,
why am I doing this?
What is happening to me? Yeah. And the owner came in, the manager was like, dude, it happens.
It happens.
And I was like, okay, yes. It doesn't happen to me that often. I just need to, he's like, and he goes, dude, you only walk 2 people. Sam Kinison used to walk the whole room. And I'm like, okay. Right. That's one way to think about this.
That's what Jim Jeffries says. He goes, if I don't offend one person in the audience, then I didn't do my job well.
I agree with that. And especially when you're doing boundary pushing, a little bit edgy, dangerous material that is going to affect people. It's gonna happen. And I mean, I'm going through that right now because, as you know, so I have cancer right now. I have stage 3 Hodgkin's lymphoma. I start treatment next week, start going through chemo. But I've been talking about it for the past couple weeks. And dude, you want to watch an audience squirm. Tell them you're
You bring it up?
Oh, yeah. I started talking. Because, dude, I got on stage the second night after I had made it public that this is what I was going through. Made a YouTube video, put it out in the world. Lots of people saw it. And just because I couldn't hold it in anymore. I was in pain. I just had to let it out. And I was on stage at the Comedy Store the next night doing another joke. And you know when you're on stage and you're performing and you're looking at the audience, but your brain is just telling you other things?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
it was my brain was literally, I'm telling a joke and my brain's going, what are you doing, man?
Don't talk about it. Yeah.
This is not, talk about what's real right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Talk about what you're actually feeling. And then I started talking about it. And from then on, it's been just game on. It's the only thing I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And you want to watch an audience get uncomfortable, tell them you're actively dying in front of them of something that is very relatable to everybody, because everyone has been touched by cancer in some way.
Yeah.
And I know there's going to be people along the way that there's, no matter how funny this material is, there's going to be some woman who lost her husband 5 months ago,
Yeah.
who I start talking about this and something rings a bell and she's just going to check out and go, no, I can't.
Yeah.
And I know that to help people along the way, it's also going to
Heal people.
push. Well, yeah, it's going to heal for sure, but it's also going to push some people away that
Yeah.
are afraid to deal with real shit.
Yeah.
And it would be disingenuous if I didn't talk about it.
I'm happy you talked about it because honestly, it really is something I needed. I mean, you could tell something was wrong. You know, you know, we could tell something was wrong, and then now that we know, it's like that. Sometimes you need to let it out, and then you need to reach out for even just a hello, this and that. I saw your post how you said everyone's been calling you, texting you, and it's we're all here fighting for you, bro. We support you 100%, and you're gonna beat this, bro. You're gonna
And
beat
I feel that, and I genuinely do, and I thank every single person that has reached out, because the biggest problem when it wasn't known yet, and even when I didn't know what it was, I was just going through. I went through 3 months of testing of everything to figure out that this is what it was. And when people are coming up, people know me as this very happy, silly person, and when they're coming up like, "How you doing?" I'm like, "I'm okay," and they're like, "Just okay."
Yeah.
Come on, man. And I'm like,
I
don't want to tell you what's going on because I don't even know. But now that I know, fuck yeah, let's talk about it. Like, you know, I just think that's the only way forward is like, you can't, you through, not around. And I'm going to barrel through this fucking thing like a freight train into a mountain and figure out a way to get to the other side of it.
Yeah, man, you will. 100%, dude. I'm fucking rooting for you. So you say you're talking about on stage. You also did the roast battle thing for a while, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about that. How did that start?
So I never wanted to do roast battle.
Well, you were there from the beginning, though, right?
Pretty early on.
Yeah,
I was going since like the first, like probably a month or two after it started. I started going because the energy in that room was just so electric, and I'd never seen anything like that before. And a friend of mine asked me to do it, so I did. It went incredibly well, and so immediately Brian Moses, the host and the referee, was like, "You got to come back and do this again. You're not an undercard. You're a main event. Let's go." And then I became the LA champion for a long time. There used to be rankings of roast battle, like the top 50 power rankings, and I held the number one spot for well over a year.
Wow.
So people got to know that like it was, you know, like everyone was gunning for me. Everybody wanted that spot, and I just kind of started having more fun with it because it's like I equate it to playing Mario Kart or like any racing game. If you're in the lead, okay, it's okay, but it's more fun to chase.
Yeah.
And to defend your title, that's not that fun.
Yeah.
But to get the new one, that's what people are. So I was constantly playing defense, and
you got bored. You got kind of bored.
But that's when all the pageantry started. That's when I started coming in wearing weird costumes and talking in silly voices and roast battling in a way that hadn't been done before. And it's also when I started to lose, and I was like, I'm okay that I'm losing.
But you're having fun losing.
I'm having so much fucking fun. And it's not just that I'm losing, I'm improving the overall quality of the show.
Yeah.
Instead of just two guys wearing, you know, jeans and a t-shirt, just calling each other rapists, now you have this clown up there.
Yeah, you're a performer.
I'm performing. I'm making it silly while dropping horrible fucking
and
jokes.
A lot of guys are doing that right now.
It's not a lot, but definitely more people started doing it after I did.
I've been even like the judges or people, or not the judges, the guys that like the wave. Remember the wave?
Yeah, I miss the wave a lot.
Yeah, but they're not doing it anymore. It's other guys.
Yeah, now they just now the show is pretty much just pretty pure of like two people
Yeah.
writing jokes, going after each other. It's still fun. It's never going to be what it was in its heyday, but that's okay. Things have to grow and they have to change and they have to have their moments. And without that show, I would have never gotten to Comedy Central, America's Got Talent, and all these other things that it has given me.
What was your best roast joke that you remember you love till this day?
Oh my God. About like that I gave someone else, or
That you roasted somebody,
else.
yeah.
Oh man, I mean, I have so many. But I mean, I'm just thinking like one of my favorites ever was that Heidi Klum joke I said in the first America's Got Talent, which is Heidi Klum, you are magical, 4 children, yet your body looks as though you haven't paid attention to any of them.
Yeah.
Because it's super clean. It's a compliment, but it is throwing shade at the same time.
How was that process? The America's Got Talent thing.
I mean, have you ever been through the ringer on one of those like reality shows like that?
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Because I did the America's Got Talent thing. I got to like the 3rd level, but I didn't get to the TV.
Okay. So, I mean, the amount of back and forth that happens before you ever hit that stage, it's like you're applying for college or something like that. It's endless forms, so many interviews, lots of back and forth of phone calls and like, well, what are you going to do? Can you make us a new tape? Can you write us new jokes? Can you do this? I was lucky that they sought me out to do it. So I got front of the line passes for pretty much everything, but I still had to go through of just like, wait a minute, what's this guy going to do? Okay, well, how's that going to work? And just hours. And I mean, so many hours.
You did it twice, right?
I did 2 seasons. Yeah. 3 performances, 2 seasons.
Well, that's great, man.
Yeah. I mean, it was, dude, I mean, I got eliminated the first time. I came back, made it to the quarterfinals just by doing my own silly character, my roasting character, putting on a fur coat and a tail, acting like I'm better than everybody and walking out on stage looking like a moron. And yeah, it's
so basically you're telling me you created this character because you got bored of winning. Right? You created a character, you got bored of when you started losing at the Comedy Store, the battles, right?
Yeah.
But then you picked back up, you got the America's Got Talent and then Comedy Central Roast Battle.
Yeah, basically, like I had already done, like, and I did well on Roast Battle on Comedy Central and things like that too. I did 2 seasons of that. I stopped caring about, people care so much about winning on that show. And then I realized, I was like, well, I won all the time.
Yeah.
Like, and eventually you just go, I wonder what it would feel like to not win, but also to be fearless about not winning.
Yeah.
So now it's like, how can I lose in the grandest fashion possible, but still walk out of there feeling great about myself? And if I do it in a way where I'm like, okay, I'm going to like wear what I wear at music festivals, but here on stage, and I'm just going to act like I'm better than everybody, but I'm still gonna like laugh. I laugh at their jokes. I listen to them. I just have more fun than them.
Yeah.
And I also become a punching bag. And I'm okay with that. Like when I wear these things, if I'm wearing a rainbow unitard and you can't come up with a good joke about that in the moment,
you're not a comedian.
That's on you.
So, dude, that's freaking amazing me. That amazes me that you literally, as soon as you stopped caring, and I think that's what's great about comedians, because that's how we know we find our voice. When you're able to go up there and you don't give a shit, you're just up there talking and you're just speaking. You're not, a lot of comedians down, like, you just.
That was me for a very long time.
And you just stopped caring, and then you found your voice.
Yeah.
And you found this person, this character. You took a little bit of yourself and a character, and then that's it.
Yeah, and that's just for my roasting thing. Like it is 100% me.
You do dress like that on stage on the road?
I dress like this. Like I wear kimonos and stuff like that. Like I'm not putting on a tail and walking on stage and going, ooh, look at this gorgeous audience size.
So no, you don't do that.
I can't wait to devour you. No, I'm not doing anything like that. I don't. I'm myself.
I thought you went and changed outfits and stuff like that.
No, man. I'm a straight road fucking comic where I go on stage and I have a look. Obviously, I wear kimonos and the rest of everything else is black. But then I do a straight hour of stand-up, and I used to be I started in LA. And when you start in LA, you're very calculated. You're meticulous about your joke writing. You want everything to come out like perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I started going on the road and realized it doesn't have to be
It
perfect.
doesn't.
And I can just speak from the heart and find ways to make it funny. I still am always seeking out more punchlines because I think nothing can ever have enough jokes in it.
Uh-huh.
But I'm not afraid to just go up there like in that moment and go, when my brain was like, just talk about your cancer, dude. I was like, and because my mother part was, but I'm not ready. It's like, well, what are you waiting for?
Yeah.
Fucking just talk about it and find your way through it. It's like, I was doing a 6-minute set. Like, calm the fuck down, dude. You're going to be okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's, that's really what I used roast battle to learn how to write very efficient jokes and very powerful jokes. And then I insert that into my stand up so that everything comes out with tons and tons of punchlines.
Is there a line you can't cross when you roast battle? Like, two people say some really fucked up shit sometimes?
That's an individual basis between battlers. Like if somebody was like, hey man, my wife literally just left me. I really can't talk about it yet. I would respect that.
Okay.
But that's something that you talk about beforehand.
Oh, you guys actually talked to? Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, for sure. Like that's something where I've only battled a couple people that I didn't really know because I was asked to do favors or something like that. Pretty much everyone I ever battled was someone I would consider a friend.
Oh, okay.
And so yeah, we would get together. We would have a beer, and I'd be like, tell where'd you go to school? What'd your dad do for a job?
Got it.
You just kind of just start picking each other's
Pick
brains
brains.
so that the jokes become more just like, this guy fucking looks like Martha Stewart if she was burned in a fire. whatever it may be, but you want substance there.
Yeah. So then, would you say the Comedy Store is your home club?
It's hard to say because I'm in LA, and
You're
LA
everywhere.
is
You're
hard.
everywhere.
It's hard to have a home club. Comedy Store definitely feeds the beast more than a lot of other ones.
It's more of a school of like a fraternity, right?
Yeah, and they give me a lot of stage time. So does the Comedy Magic Club. The Improv's pretty good to me. Haha's pretty good to me. Laugh Factory. I'll go to Flappers. I don't give a shit. I'm like, people that have these vendetta, they're like, that club sucks. I'm like, are there people there that I don't know?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go there.
Yeah. So when you started out, who do you think someone that basically, because you know how this business is, man. People are fake. People are mean. Was there anyone that you thought maybe you had beef with, but you didn't have beef with? But you're like, well, that guy doesn't like me for some reason.
Early on, I didn't know, like I knew a few comics. I don't think I ever really had like beef. Well, actually, all right. Yeah, I did kind of have beef with somebody now that I think about it. It's funny to bring this up, but like when we first started out, you know who Jake Kroger is? He runs the Comedy Bureau. The Comedy Bureau is a very LA website, right?
Yeah.
It's an LA website basically where you can find open mics and you can do comedy news and stuff. Him and I used to hit the same open mic in Hermosa Beach all the time called 705 Club. And I just at the time, like I was, 24, 25, just partying nonstop, new to comedy, just writing all the time, getting on stage, just trying to be as crazy as could be, just trying to make an impact. And his stand-up never vibed with me. It seemed like he wasn't working on it. And I would just like be in the audience. He'd be like, oh, what do I do next? I'm like, maybe tell a joke. Like I would be doing shit like that.
Yeah.
And it didn't, because at the time I didn't realize that that's not, well, you're just kind of being mean.
Yeah.
You're poking a little bit because we weren't friendly enough for me to be doing that. And I think it kind of always, him and I are cool now, but I think it always kind of developed this little like, who I was is not who I am.
Yeah.
And I definitely think, I wouldn't say that we had beef, but we definitely, like, when we would see each other, it'd be like, all right,
yeah,
guess we're sharing the stage with this, with him tonight. But that thing, it wasn't real beef. It's made up, right?
It's made up.
It's not
Hollywood shit.
It is. It's completely made up.
There's so much bullshit out there right now, dude. Everyone out there, I have so many people like, oh, Jack doesn't like me. I'm like, I don't know why. Why would I care?
Why? Because he didn't book you in the past 2 months amongst the thousands of other comics?
It's just like I love everybody, and even if I think it's stupid to hate people.
Oh, dude, it's not worth it. So a few years ago, I'm on the road in Denver with Kyle Kinane. I'm opening for him when doing Comedy Works. He's one of my favorite comics, and I'm so excited for this weekend. We're back at the condo, and we're eating dinner, and he goes, who do you want to talk shit on? And I was like, I don't know. He goes, you really don't like talking shit, do you, Alex? And I was like, I'd rather talk about people that I think are great and bring them up and put that energy in the world. And Kyle goes, All right. And then I had to like think about it. Okay, well, okay. I'm like, well, what's a shitty special that came out recently that I can at least be like, oh, well, this special fucking sucked. They should have worked harder on
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
So then I can kind of find I'm not afraid to like gossip and like throw a little smack around. But overall, I don't want to be the person that is constantly just starting fights and throwing out beef and being aggro.
Yeah.
It's just not who I am.
Yeah,
I'm like,
and it's bad energy.
yeah.
It's gross.
I told myself a long time ago, be someone that other people want to be around.
Yeah.
Because that will help you in comedy just as much as being a great comedian. If you're a good hang, if you're easy to talk to, if you're chill in situations and you don't fucking lose your shit because a waitress brought you a Coke when you asked for a diet or something like you see people's true colors a lot in this business. And sometimes I just go, oh, that's who you are?
Yeah, and then they go, I'm not gonna bring you as an opener. Like, I don't want to take you on the road with me.
Yeah.
That's who you are. Like, if you're that negative person, they're just like, ugh.
I want people to know that I'm open, I'm easy to talk to, I'm fun, and I will do a good job when I hit that stage. I will always, I can't think of a single time I've ever phoned in a set. And I have done sets where, I remember doing a set where I literally went to the hospital directly afterwards because I had I have really bad eczema. I've had it my whole life. My entire body was shutting down on me from an infection, and I didn't realize what was happening. And I was on stage, could barely even function, trying to give all the last of my energy. And I remember I got home from that show, and I just like looked at my girlfriend. I was like, I need to go to the hospital. And she goes, why did you do that show? And I was like, I can't, like, dude, she gives me shit about this all the time. When I have a commitment, I will do everything to honor that commitment.
And you're like, fuck Valentine's Day.
For sure. For better or worse. Like things like that I've had where I'm like, hey, I know we're supposed to go out tonight. Like this is a real Valentine's Day thing. I know you're supposed to go out on Valentine's Day.
Oh my God,
Some random girl wants me to do this game show where we pretend we're in love and it's $500 cash. So I'm going to do it because I need it, you know? And I'm like, and this is like 12 years ago at this point or something. But she's like, it's Valentine's Day. I was like, I'm going to get this money. And I'm going to take you out on the 15th.
And that's why
you're that money.
And that's why you're on America's Got Talent and Comedy Central, all that shit.
Maybe, yeah.
Right? Because you put in that work. You put in the work.
I do, for sure. I'm reliable. I'm punctual. I show up on time. And I say what I'm going to do when I'm going to do it. And I exceed expectations. I never want to disappoint. I never want to overpromise and underdeliver. I'm the other way around. I'm like, let's just see what happens. And then I will exceed your expectations. This happens to me on the road all the time. People don't know what I am as a stand-up because they only watch clips from like AGT.
Yeah.
And then they go, I don't know what you're gonna do. Are you gonna like roast us all? And then I go up there and do an hour of very cohesive, great stand-up, and they go, that was way better than what you do. Why didn't you do that on the show? I was like, did you hear what I was talking about? I can't do that fucking shit on there. What are you, nuts? Oh yeah, the joke where the baby dies. Let me put that on America's Got Talent. Mm-hmm.
So what's your favorite memory as a comedian so far up until today?
Fuck. That is such a loaded question because the beauty of comedy is we have all of these incredible singular experiences that we never would have had otherwise. And there are moments like, obviously TV tapings are always cool and stuff like that, but just having, little moments like when you get like getting passed at a club, like the first time I got called from Comedy Magic Club saying, hey, we really like your tape. You want to come down and perform here? That was a huge moment because I'm looking at their wall and I'm like, oh my gosh, like these are all professional headliners, legends, things like that. There's all these crazy producing comedy at music festivals. Very proud of that. I love music festivals. I go all the time. And then I was like, how do I stop just going to these things and having fun and start adding to the experience? And I started bringing comics, getting them paid to go do these weekends in Magic Land where they're just running around the desert, having the best time of their life, telling jokes, a couple times, and we're all growing as people and finding a way to I'm like, oh, everyone else paid to be here. We're getting paid to be here. That's pretty good, guys.
So you're saying you like helping other comics?
For sure.
That's good.
Dude, we're all in this for so long, right? And and anyone who's real, you're going to see so many times for 30 years or so. And if you're not celebrating their wins as much as your own. Like, I love seeing that shit. When one of your good friends that you started with is doing an open mic or doing open mics, and the next thing you know, they're like, guys, I just sold a Netflix special.
That's awesome.
What the fuck?
That's
You
amazing.
sucked 6 years ago.
No.
You were so bad, dude. The pizza shop wouldn't book you. You're getting a Netflix special?
Oh,
Fuck yeah.
yeah.
I love that. It's inspiring because we are the of everything comedy has given me, purpose, drive, community.
Yeah.
Is such a huge one. Meeting and being a part of so many people's lives and getting to celebrate with them and cry with them when something goes wrong and mourn when we lose one, which is happening way too fucking much lately.
It's happening too much.
Too fucking much. This last year has been brutal.
It's been awful.
But that's the thing is, like, imagine if we didn't have each other in those times. Like, imagine if we were an office that, like, yeah, we'd go to work together sometimes and shit, but like, we're just coworkers. Comedians, while we are coworkers, there's something more than that happening because we're like soldiers. We're brothers in arms. We understand that we are sifting through piles of trash. I don't know a single comedian who hasn't eaten their dick on stage. And I say that men or women or trans, whatever. It does, like, everyone to get where they are has gone through a trough of shit to get to that other side. And
some of you guys are still going through shit right now.
I think I
go through shit.
Yeah.
Everyone's you going through shit right now. We're all going through shit.
For sure. It's part of it. But making it feel like we're all here for the same purpose, the overall reason of we need to make people laugh because something is broken inside of us. Whatever that may be, that call is here and I love it, man.
But like you said earlier, like the whole goal is fuck being on top, fuck winning. The whole goal is to chase.
It is.
So that's why I feel like we're never going to stop chasing that.
Well, my wife loves to tell me that because you always say man, if I could just sell this script, man, then and make that show. And she goes, well, then what's the next thing that you're going to need?
Yeah,
she knows that.
It's never going to be I'm never satisfied.
I am satisfied at times, but it's short-lived.
Yeah.
Like, basically you have let's say this, like, let's say you put out, you film a great special, you sell it, you're so excited about that process, right? Because you worked on the material. Now you get to film it. There's something there you get to celebrate. Then it comes out. But after it comes out, you got like a week. And then it's like, people are like, yeah, we watched it.
What's next?
Well,
yeah,
that was cool. What are you doing? And you're like, oh, yeah, I can't live off that thing.
Yeah, you can't live.
So it's always, but also good.
Yeah.
Keep us working. Keep us creating. When people say, I hate the bands, we don't make any money off our songs anymore. We have to tour. I'm like, yeah, you do. I'm like, yeah, thanks for playing LA 3 times last year because I love you guys. So keep doing it. Like,
dude, you literally, like, I didn't even have to ask you. You answered so many questions of mine. Like, just speaking the truth.
I talk too much.
No, you're great. You're great. Honestly, you literally, because a lot of this podcast is about stuff that we've gone through already, and you literally touched on the open mic scene, how to make in this bit, like everything. Like, you were just, this is probably one of my favorite episodes.
Cool.
You were really, really inspiring, man, and you really shared a lot of stuff with me. And I forgot to even plug our sponsor. Shout out to Comedy Showcase app. Make sure you guys download this app. Put your content up, get paid. Comedy Showcase app, guys. My guest today was Alex Hooper. Check him out online. Great comedian. Or where are you at next? Where are you performing at next?
I'm in LA for 6 months because I start chemo next week. So
I'll pray for you.
If you want to see me right now, if you're in Southern California, you will have a million opportunities to see me and talk about some very real shit that I am going through in front of your face.
Hell yeah. AlexHooper.com? Is it that?
HooperComedy.com.
HooperComedy.com. HooperComedy.com. And your Instagram is?
At Hooper Hairpuff.
Hooper Hairpuff. My Comedy Couple Confessions. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.